Hello YouTube, welcome back. This is part 3 of creating my Twitter project. I recommend watching part 2 and part 1 to be able to cope with us. At this part, or at this video, we will learn how to create database and API projects. I wrote down here the list that you can follow to create the database. Let's follow them one by one. As far as I reach now, we have created the model project. Now we will create the second project, which is the API. That will be the second tier. This is what we said we will explain later. The M-tier architecture, which means different projects at the same solution. This is the first tier, which is class library project. Now we will create the second tier, new project. That will be web, and here is API. Select web API and open. So this is the first step. Second step, we need to add the model project as a reference, of course, because we will use the models that we have created, the user model and the tweet model. So we need to add this project as the reference of the API project. Here we go. Add references. Add reference. Then project model. Cool. Then we need to build the project. Build solution. Build started. Okay, perfect. Build succeeded. Now add controllers for user and tweet. These are the models that we created at our last video. We will add the controllers with scaffolding. Add controller. WebAPI to controller with actions using entity framework. We will select the user and we will add Snap API contact user tweet context, and that would be user's controller. This is a scaffolding. Now we have the user's controller, which contains all the CRUD functions made for me. Get all users, get user by ID, put or update user, and post user or create new user, plus delete user. Let's build the solution again. And create the tweet controller the same way, the same options. This time we will use the tweet, the same context, and that will be tweets controller. Click add, scaffolding again, and voila! Now we have tweets controller. At the NuGet console, write commands enable migrations. Let's copy. And it is very important to write it this way: enable -migrations to create the configuration class. How can we get the NuGet console? Select Tool, NuGet Package Manager, and Package Manager console. And here write enable -migrations. But first, the default project should be the API. And click enter. And observe what's happening. Now we have the migrations folder created and contained by default configuration class that have the seed function. At this method, we can seed all the data that we want at the database. This is for like testing purpose, and there is already made example to be able to insert the data. Add the seed method of the configuration class, add hardcode data that will be inserted at our database for testing purposes. Do it. We will follow the same structure here. Let's see the user first. Okay, I added here all the data. Add the seed function. This is the data for the users, and this is the data for the tweets. There's an important thing, very important mistake I have made at the last video, that the parent ID should be nullable, because not all the tweets will have comments. Maybe someone posted a tweet and no one commented, so the parent ID should be nullable. If the parent ID is nullable, then this is a main tweet. If the parent ID has value, then this is a comment for a main post. Let's continue. Then, after adding the data at the seed function, we will write at the NuGet console add migration initial. Let's do it. Click enter. After writing add migration initial and click the enter button, the scaffolding migration will create and initial class will create. By the way, if you got this error, no connection string name, whatever context you name, could be found in the application config file, that will mean you didn't set up the API project as a default project. So we need to right click here and say set as a startup project. That will solve the problem, and you will succeed to create the initial class file, which contain something like schema for each model. Like here, tweets, you have ID, identity, nullable. Nullable is false. The content, the user ID, type, and all our entities. The primary key is the ID, and the foreign key is the user ID. That will illustrate the one-to-many relationship between the users and the tweets. Nothing left but writing the update database command to finally create our database with the seed data that we add. Update database, hit the enter button. Yes, we know that we succeeded because running seed method initialized. Let's check our database from view, server explorer. This is our database. We added the database as the local host. This is the tables. Contains two tables, tweets and users. This is the fields. Okay. Let's check for example. Show table data. This database created as the local host, but if we wanted to create the database, this is our CS data that we add. If you want to create the database at the SQL Server, this one, before updating the database, we would go and change the connection string, the data source, change the local host with your server name and your database name. Okay, till this point, we successfully created our database with seeding data, and now nothing left but creating the functions as the tweets and user controller. We need to customize our methods to create our own projects. That's it for this video. Thank you for your watch.